making my mouth water. Isn't that awesome? I love it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm Vera Stewart, and welcome to the Very Vera Show. You know, this time of year, we're all frantic, getting ready for Thanksgiving, getting ready for our menu, our grocery list, and having friends over. So today, I'm going to give you 3 non-traditional recipes that I love, and I really hope you'll try. The first one we're going to do today, we're kind of calling a stuffin'. It's a dressing or stuffing that you're making in the form of a muffin. This way you've got a different presentation. The kids are going to love it. It's going to look great on your buffet. Then we're going to do a turkey roulade. I'm going to show you how to butterfly the turkey breast. We're making a tremendous filling to go inside. It's going to be quick and easy, delicious. And then finally, are you looking for something different for dessert this year? Well, I've got a pumpkin bundt cake that has a cream cheese filling that could actually be your centerpiece. It's so beautiful. So let's get started on the muffins. Okay, how do you know it's Thanksgiving time? Well, you know because celery and onion is sauteing in a pan. There's nothing like that aroma. So to make these stuffins, that's the first thing I've done is I've gotten my celery and onion kind of just loosened up in a pan with some butter. And so I'm going to add to that a little bit of crushed garlic. I've got fresh parsley, rosemary, thyme, and sage. And now we're really talking Thanksgiving. That aroma is in everybody's house this time of year. All right, so while that's seasoning up, I went to the fresh market and I picked up some crusty bread. And actually, some of my first memories of the fresh market is how awesome that bakery is over there. Just so many wonderful homemade breads. So I've cut this up into just little 1-inch cubes, and I'm going to pour some melted butter on top of that and just kind of mix this in. So this is just another recipe that, you know, people say, do you rather have stuffing or dressing? Of course, stuffing is what goes in the turkey, and dressing is what sometimes people cook in a casserole dish on the side. So this is just another option for another way to serve your dressing or stuffing on your Thanksgiving buffet. All right. So the other part of this that's interesting is it could be a mix. You know, a lot of people are really waiting for the VeryVera recipe for stuffing to come out, but you're not going to get that recipe until the book comes out, but this one is a really good one. And as always, our recipes are available on our website at VeryVera.com. So now I'm going to add the liquid to this, and this is just some really good chicken broth. And at this point, this is when you've really got to mix this up, and the best way to do it is using my hands. So I'm just going to kind of mix that up. Now I'm going to add in what I cooked on top of the stove. And we just really need all of the liquid in this to be absorbed. So I'm going to stir it really well, and you can see a lot of that liquid down in the bottom of the bowl. And I'm just going to let this sit now for all of the liquid to absorb, and it's going to take about 10 minutes. Okay, it looks like all the liquid is absorbed, and just a reminder to just from time to time just stir it so that you're making sure that even what's up at the top is nice and coated. So at this point, I've prepared my muffin pan with some cooking oil just so that these won't stick to the pan, and you can put salt and pepper in it at this point. I always like to taste because, you know, chicken broth has a good bit of salt in it, but for sure I'm going to put a good bit of pepper in mine. And you know, this can be anybody's recipe, whether it has cornbread in it or what. It's just actually the presentation more than anything. This is where your ice cream scoop comes in handy and is a very versatile tool in the kitchen because it's just the perfect instrument to fill up these muffin cups. And you're going to go all the way to the top with this because essentially it's not like they're going to rise like a regular muffin. they're just really getting toasted and set in place. All right, so I've got my oven on 350. I'm gonna get these muffin pans filled up and come back with me after the break where you're gonna get started on the turkey roulade, and then we're gonna go into the pumpkin bundt cake. Welcome back, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving again. I just absolutely love this time of year and all these aromas, the onions cooking, all the different things that we're doing to get ready for a wonderful Thanksgiving together. And these recipes today are some alternatives to all the traditional things that I know if your family's like mine, they want to see the same recipes every year. But it's kind of fun to throw in something different. And maybe what I'm doing today, this turkey roulade, could be something that you do over the course of the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and sauteed the onions and garlic. I've added some mushrooms, but I was busy during the break too. I went ahead and put the muffins in the oven, and I had a little bit left over, so I filled some ramekins with it. So that's another way that you could serve that dish, maybe with chicken during the week, any time of the year. And then I've started on getting the turkey breast ready and butterflying the turkey breast. So basically I went to the fresh market and picked this up, and they actually asked me, would you like for me to butterfly that for you, because I told them what I was doing. So they will do that for you if you give them some notice. But I just laid it out, kind of checked out which side I wanted to butterfly, and you want to take the thickest parts of the breast and just cut, not all the way through, but down enough so you can spread it out. Then I covered it with 2 pieces of saran wrap, and then just took the mallet and just took all of my holiday frustrations out. And you want to stop when you're about 1/2 to 1/4 of an inch thick. Sometimes it's hard to get it really thin. All right, so this turkey is ready to go. I've put a little salt and pepper on both sides, and the side that I'm going to put the filling on is the one where I use the knife. All right, so back over at my pan, I pre-cooked some bacon, and I used the excess bacon drippings for my sauté material in the pan. I've got the mushrooms, onion, and shallots, and now I'm going to start adding in some spinach. And it looks like a lot, but remember that just cooks down quite a bit. So while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and just finish cutting my bacon, and this is where your kitchen shears and your young person get in the kitchen with you to help you do this. But this adds a lot of flavor. This is a smoky and applewood smoked bacon. Turkey breast in general is not real flavorful. So this way you're adding flavor not only with the ingredients that I've got sauteing in the pan, but we're going to put in some paprika with this too, which will also add a little bit of smoky flavor. And this is going to cook down, and we're going to just fill the turkey breast with it. So if you've not had an opportunity to actually look at our website lately, when you're thinking about what recipes you want to make for Thanksgiving, whether it's the 3 that we're doing today, take a few minutes and look on our site, because you may be surprised. Maybe 3 seasons ago I did something during Thanksgiving that you might be interested in looking at. All right, so this is cooked down pretty good. You don't want the spinach to be completely overdone. And now I've got the turkey breast all ready to go. I'm going to add this mixture right to the center of the meat. And if some of it spills over, it doesn't matter, because it's going to just cook evenly. So I'm just going to get that situated right in the middle, and this is where you really want to use some good hand technique. Let's throw in a little Parmesan cheese, make it even better. And I'm leaving an edge at the back side for where I'm going to seam it up. All right, so you want to start closest to you, and you're basically going to just stuff and roll at the same time. Like I said, as your hand goes in, it'll just flip over. And once you've got it completely flipped, we're going to roll it up with some twine. So just take whatever's left over and just stuff it into the sides. And on your kitchen twine, you want to pull 3 times the length of what you're working with, so that you've got loose ends, and I'm going to finish that up during the break. But when we come back in Vera's Corner today, are you trying to save money right now to get ready for holiday shopping? Well, I'm going to have some tips on home economics for making meals on a budget, and then we'll get started on that pumpkin bundt cake. Are you looking for ways to save a little bit of that cash when it's time to buy gifts? Well, I know I am, and today I've got some home economics that are going to help you plan a great meal on a budget. First, take a look at your recipes and create a master grocery list. Check to see what's already in your pantry to keep from overbuying. Check local sale papers and make a game plan to make sure you take advantage of as many deals as possible. Don't leave your shopping until the last minute. You'll have a better chance of finding items at a discount if you can plan to shop several days before the holiday. Choose to buy produce that's in season. It's usually less expensive and it makes for a festive menu. If it's not already, make your holiday feast a potluck. Make the main dish and ask your guests to bring a side or dessert. Along the same line, you can save money and planning by asking your guests to bring their beverage of their choice. Follow these simple guidelines and save a bundle this holiday season.
To see what's cooking with the Very Vera Show, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back, everybody. You're going to really thank me this year when you save some money with the tips I gave you on menu planning and using coupons and buying on sale and on specials during Vera's Corner today. So while we were away, I basted the turkey. About $3.75. You want to just continually baste it with a little bit of butter. It smells delicious. I cannot wait. So we're going to get started on the pumpkin bundt cake. And I went ahead and got the filling done. A little bit of cream cheese, sugar, egg, and vanilla extract. And you want to whip it really well. You want it to be nice and pliable because it's going to go in the center of this batter that we're getting ready to make. So this just says fall up one side and down the other. I've got cake flour. I'm going to add in some baking soda, salt, ginger, cinnamon, all your favorites for fall, nutmeg, and cloves. So the color of this cake is also really deep and dark. It's just beautiful. So you just want to take your wire whisk and mix all those dry ingredients together. And one of the nice things about this, you could actually use a hand mixer to do your cream cheese filling, but the rest of this cake is going to be mixed up by hand. All right, so on the wet ingredients, I'm just using pumpkin filling, pumpkin pie filling right out of the can. And I've got that in a larger bowl. I'm going to add to that 4 eggs, some granulated sugar, and brown sugar. And at this point, I'm just going to take my spatula and just start mixing that together. And this is another one of those projects that you can get your young person in the kitchen with you. So I know you're probably looking at the pan on the counter thinking, boy, 1,000,000 cakes were baked in that pan. And actually, 1,000,000 cakes were probably baked in that pan because that's one of the original cake pans from VeryVera, the bakery that I had for 33 years in Augusta. And we used to ship a cake that was a pumpkin cake. Quite a bit was actually sold in Costco. It was one of their specialty items that we did for their online stores. And so anytime you smelled a lot of pumpkin in our show and in our studio, you always knew that we were doing a lot of things for Costco. All right, so now I'm going to add the oil in. And a little bit of vanilla. And it takes just a minute to get that oil mixed in. going to be adding this into the dry ingredients. And this is more or less like a quick bread more than it is a cake because of the way that it's mixed. All right, so now it's ready to fold into the dry ingredients. And this is one of those desserts that actually, if you make it a couple of days ahead, the flavors really settle in and make a really great dish. All right, so this is where you use a folding technique with your spatula just to fold those through. You just want to get it evenly mixed. And I've prepared my pan with some floured spray. You know, I have testers out in the field right now testing some of the VeryVera recipes, and depending on the age of the tester, they've not known whether to flour the pan with oil and just flour or whether to use a floured spray, but I highly recommend the floured sprays. Okay, so I've got the pan ready. I'm going to put half of this batter in. Then we'll add the filling and then the rest of the batter. So it looks like I'm going to be busy during the break again. And when we come back, we have got quite a Thanksgiving spread put together. We're going to display everything, talk our way through the recipes one more time, and get ready to enjoy something really special. So come back with us in just a few minutes. I've just had such a great time today getting ready for what is now some untraditional recipes for Thanksgiving. I think I may actually do this over the weekend of Thanksgiving for my family. But let's go back through what we did today, because hopefully you all will go to VeryVera.com for the recipes for what we've done today and do some things differently this year for Thanksgiving. Okay, remember the Stuffins. These were the little muffins that use our dressing recipe, and it could be your dressing recipe, but it's just a matter of how you decide to serve it. So these just turned out really cute. They're actually very, very moist, and they could be plated if you're doing a plated meal, or as I said, I used a ramekin for some of them because I had a little bit of extra dressing left. The key there is you want to leave enough time for all of the liquid to soak into the bread when you're making those. All right, so let's move over to the turkey roulade. Beautiful presentation. The center of each piece of turkey just has that filling just oozing in it. I've put it in a bowl this time, but you could lay it out on a platter. You could have it served whole and then slice it actually at the table, which would be really unique. But I certainly recommend that you go ahead and cut the string off of the roll before you put it on the platter. But this just really turned out well. Remember, the Fresh Market will do the treatment for you. They will go ahead and butterfly the breast if you call ahead for them to do that. But this just is really an easy recipe. Another dish that uses turkey other times of the year other than Thanksgiving. Made a little bit of gravy to go with that as well. And then what else could you serve with this? Root vegetables. Remember in Vera's Corner today, we talked about using vegetables that are in season for economics, but also for color and texture this time of year. Just some beautifully roasted root vegetables really go over very well. The cake. I finished getting the cake in the pan. Remember, we made the batter, and it was just very easy to do by hand. The cream cheese filling you can do with the hand mixer, but I did it in my stand mixer. Really let that cream cheese beat really well to get any lumps out before I used it. And then you pour half of the batter in the pan, cover that with the cream cheese filling, and then finish it off with the rest of the batter. I just took my spatula and kind of evened it out, and I actually used my steam oven today instead of my regular convection oven for this purpose. The steam oven really comes in handy this time of year when you're logistically trying to manage a turkey in the oven, your muffins were in the oven. There really wasn't a place to put my cake today. So I'm really glad that I had that option to use that today for that. Now your place setting. If you're going to do something different, why don't you just go all out? This is just regular craft paper, and what are you thankful for? Maybe let each member of your family write some things down on their placemat. They can roll it up and take it home. If you're looking for something different to do with a place card, these are just the little mini pumpkins. Tie a ribbon and put the people's names on it. Then they've got a little memento to take home. And even my grandchildren love things like that. So on the cake, I went ahead and put a little drizzle of confectioner's sugared icing. If you want to make another cream cheese icing for that and cover the whole thing, maybe tint it in orange would be really attractive. But the slices just turn out beautifully. And as I said, the longer this sits, the moister it becomes. So I know I am extremely thankful for so many things this time of year, and certainly I'm thankful for all the many guests I've had on the show, my team that helps me every week get the show together. And next week, I certainly want you to join me for Virginia Willis. Have a great Thanksgiving and come back next week.
To see what's cooking with the VeryVera Show, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.